So what I'm going to do in this video, guys, I'm going to explain pretty quickly some calculator skills that we already went over in class, and then I'm going to do two rounding review problems. So for number one, I'm actually not going to write anything. What I want you to do is make sure that you have your calculator out, and what you should then be doing is making sure that you agree with what I'm saying. So something that I had said in class, if you are going to be dividing, something you have to be really careful of is if you have a multiplication sign in the denominator. Now the reason why is if you take this and just simply plug this into your calculator, what your calculator will do is take 5.6, divide it by 6.02, and then it's going to actually multiply by 10 raised to the 23rd. So what you should get, and what I'm getting, is 9.3 times 10 to the 22nd. Now, that's not actually what I'm asking you to do here. I'm not asking you to take 5.6 divided by 6.02 and then multiply that whole thing by 10 to the 23rd. Instead, what I'm asking you to do is take 5.6 and divide the entire thing by 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. So what you will have to do with your calculator is take 5.6, divide it by 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd, and in order to include that whole number, you need to put that in parentheses. So put parentheses, just like I wrote in pink, then 6.02 times 10 raised to the 23rd. And what you get now is 9.3 times 10 to the negative 24th, which makes sense because since I'm dividing by 10 to the 23rd, the number you should get is really small, so times 10 to the negative 24th. If you get a large number, like we did the first time, in all likelihood you forgot to put it in parentheses. So just make sure that you remember to do that. Now I'm going to spend the rest of the time and just review basic rounding. Okay? So if I give you a number like this, and I tell you to round to the hundredths place, that's right here, this is the hundredths place, and so what you're going to do is the following. What I like to do, I like to draw a line right here, and what that tells me is I have to look at the number right behind the line, so I have to look at that 4. If the number is between 1 and 4, right, then I leave this 6 alone. If it's between 5 and 9, then I need to round up. So 1 and 4, 1 and 4, leave it alone. Leave. If the number is between, if the number behind that to the right of that line is between 5 and 9, you're going to round up. Round up. So, for example, you only look at the number right after this line. So right now, if I'm trying to round this right here, I'm just going to be looking at this 4. Ignore that 9. So I just look at that 4. Since 4 is between 1 and 4, obviously, then I'm going to leave it alone. So when I'm rounding, it'll become 2.56. Okay. I didn't round up because this is not between 5 and 9. Now, if I ask you to, we're going to redo this problem now. And now I'm going to round to the thousandths place. Now, I'm going to rewrite this number for you. Remember, the thousandths place is this 4 right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line right after the 4. If the number after the line is between 1 and 4, leave it alone. Leave this number alone. If it's between 5 and 9, round up. Now, since this is 9, that means that this 4 is going to have to round up. So it's going to become 2.56. It rounds up, so it'll go to 5. And that's it. Okay. Let's try another one. Let's say I ask you to take the number 5.5649, and I ask you to round to the ones place. Now in this case, this is my ones place right here, so I'm going to draw a line right behind it. Okay. If the number right behind it is between 1 and 4, leave it alone. If it's between 5 and 9, round up. Well, since this is a 5, this is going to round up. So it just becomes 3. And you're done. Okay. Now let's look at this. Let's say I ask you to round to the hundreds place, which is right here. Okay, so if I'm asking you to round to the hundreds place, I'm going to draw a line right here. It doesn't matter that there isn't a decimal. Okay. If this number is between 1 and 4, leave it alone. If it's between 5 and 9, round up. Well, since this is a 5, this needs to round up. So A 0 rounded up would be 1. Now, here's the mistake that a lot of people do. They took 1,056 and rounded it to 11. Now, 1,000 does not round to 11. What they forgot to do was to put 2 placeholders, and those placeholders need to be 2 zeros. Okay. Now, that's fine, because it was 1,056, now it's 1,100. Okay, please don't leave it as 11. It doesn't make sense at all. Okay? For the next one, let's say I'm asking you to round to the tens instead of the hundreds. So I have 1056, and I ask you to round to the tens. So what you need to do is draw a line in between the 5 and the 6. Look to the right of the line. Since the number is between 5 and 9, this number, this tens place, is going to round up. So it's going to become 106. And just like the example before, guys, make sure that you put a 0 as a placeholder. Don't leave it as 106. That's a totally different number. Okay? And that's all there is to rounding, making sure that you look at the number right after the one that you're trying to round. If it's between 1 and 4, leave it alone. 5 and 9, round up. You don't have to put the line. I just find that for a lot of students it's really helpful. Okay, and that's it.